Even 15 seconds.
Feel that when you guys scolded me, so now I'm.
So can you please call to order this regular meeting of the Ports and Harbors Advisory Board for October 8th, 2024. May, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Flores?
Here.
Mr. Bethel?
Here.
Mr. Youngblood?
Here.
Mr. Lundy?
Here.
Mr. Rhodes?
Here.
Here. Please join me for the.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'd like to offer motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, that passes unanimously. Communications, we have the director's report. You'll see a cruise passenger costs to the city of Ketchikan. That's not part of this meeting. I'll reference this during my turn at comments, but we will not be addressing this tonight because it was not publicly noticed. Persons to be heard, I believe there are none. Unfinished business, there is none. New business, election for vice chair. Do we have anybody who would like to nominate somebody for the vice chair? Akron. We can do that if that's what.
The joy of not being present, huh? Yeah, I'll nominate Russell Cochran.
Any second for that?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. That's why I've always loved this board. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Well, congratulations, Mr. Cochran. I can't wait to tell you. I think I'll take the coward's way. We'll just have May send him an email. The safest thing. The new council will be seated, this Thursday. And then not at that meeting, but very soon, the new mayor will do appointments to boards and commissions, and we will see if I'm back here or not. I may be, I may not be. And either way, probably at that time, it's probably about time to think about a new chair. I think I've done it for 2 years, maybe? I don't know, it's been a while, but anyway. How about the director?
All right, I'll start us off here on the harbors. Our third full-time maintenance position, we found someone, we recommended him. He got approved downtown. And he will be starting October 16th. So he signed his offer letter and everything. So we'll be back to full staff for our maintenance. It'll be the first time in a few months, but we made sure to find someone that we feel will really fit in with the crew and everything. And hopefully that'll work out and good things moving forward with that. Our public restrooms at the main office there, we're looking to close those down for a couple weeks here in December. They need some TLC. I've been at the harbor for 11 years and we've never closed them down to do any type of maintenance. We'll run in and try to do something here and there without closing them, but it's well overdue to shut them down, do some painting, tile work, and things like that. So we'll do public outreach to let everybody know when that's going to happen. But it's much needed and well overdue. Sunken and sinking vessels, that big first storm we had, we did have one vessel sink. It was a 40-foot wood trawler. It got raised 4 days later at the owner's expense by a private contractor. Really all we had to do was put out some boom that the Coast Guard required or asked us to do for them. It could have been a lot worse. It ended up not being that bad. We had a few other vessels try to sink, but our assistant harbor masters did an awesome job of getting them pumped out or getting a hold of owners before they became a big disaster. Harbor Masters also, and the maintenance guys did a great job of going around the port in the harbor, just double checking everybody's boats and calling people that they thought maybe they had a bad line or something, and being extra diligent on keeping everything good during the storms there. Harbor operations office wise, we're back to our winter hours. Office is Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 p.m. Closed on the weekends, and the Harbor Masters are still 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. We're still waiting on a draft from the city attorney on the new yacht club lease. I really don't think that any movement's going to happen with that until we get a new director. Dredging, I have here that we're waiting for approval. I just got the approved permit for dredging yesterday, or actually this morning when I got to work because I was off yesterday. So we have an approved permit for the Bar Harbor North dredging there. That permit goes through now until springtime, sometime in, I think the end of March is when I had it. So we have all winter for a contractor to come in on the right tides and get that dredging done. So hopefully by the end of this week, we'll get the paperwork together to put that out for bid and get that in the works. Port and Harbor Director, the last update I got last week was interviews are supposed to start next week. But we've been told that before. That's all I got. Oh, we do have 2 open board seats on the board here. We have 3 applicants. We're going to look at those and make our recommendations here, probably to the new mayor once he is elected or put in.
Is that it?
That's it for me.
Any questions on the harbor operations?
Yes. Did you consider maybe porta potties while those restrooms are shut?
No, we didn't, but maybe we could bring in a couple porta potties
Well,
to,
I know the heavy use that those things receive and abuse.
yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. We can definitely probably rent a couple for a couple weeks to help out there.
In that big storm, I think it gave everybody's boat a test as to their moorings. They did a good job. Your crew, I think probably seemed short-staffed at times when things start going awry at multiple harbors at the same time.
Yeah,
I know
they're running around pretty good that one day.
yeah, there was an issue right outside your office. It was.
And that's the normal case. Every first big storm in the fall, that's when people realize that it's not summer anymore and they got to be a little more diligent watching their boats. It's not summertime where you can wait a week or 2 to go down and check your boat.
Sure.
So it's pretty much the norm in the fall for us to have a day like that.
Okay. How often do you dredge down there?
It's been going on 3 years now.
Is that about the normal
Yeah.
cycle?
Yeah. Yeah. We budget for it every other year. It doesn't happen every other year. It's an as needed.
I have a question on the dredging,
Mhm.
on the permit approval from the Army Corps. Since this is kind of a routine, ongoing thing, how long does it actually take to get the approval on
This-
something like this? That's not extraordinary.
It took 2 months. And that was even with them emailing me saying, sorry, we lost your paperwork. So because it's maintenance dredging, it's not a new project or something new. So we have all the paperwork and the history of the project happening before. So it's basically just, hey, we're going to do the exact same thing we did 3 years ago.
Right.
And they go, oh, okay, that's simple. And it goes pretty quick for a maintenance type dredging, especially one with the history of this one that we have.
Right.
I have a question.
Mhm.
The pump out station in Bar Harbor North.
Yep.
How long has it been out of commission and what's?
It's been out for a year. I have money in the budget for this year to replace that one. If the budget passes, we'll have a new one this spring.
Seems like it's been out forever.
Yeah, it has. And those are about 30,000 a piece.
Wow.
So,
Not repairable?
no. Well, I mean, everything's repairable. It's how
Right,
much you want to spend to repair it.
sure.
And that particular pump out station doesn't match, it's an older one, and it doesn't match any of the ones that we have now. So this year we got a new one for City Float. This year we'll get the new one for Bar Harbor North. Then we'll have Thomas Basin, City Float, Bar Harbor South, and Bar Harbor North, and they'll all be the exact same make model of pump.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Mountain Point Boat Ramp,
Mm-hmm.
who would do the dredging on that? Would that be state? I mean, it gets kind of convoluted when you talk about that.
That I don't know. I'd have to dig into that one because we technically own it.
But doesn't
But the
borough have-
breakwater,
Doesn't the borough own the tidelines? The city owns the stuff.
we own the stuff, and I think the borough, yeah, we lease the tidelands from the borough or the state. I don't know enough about that.
Okay.
I'll find out and I'll let you know.
Yeah, I know over the
Meeting.
years, it gets pretty shallow in there at low tide now. With seems like it's creating
My-
ice.
My big goal is someday in the near future, redo that float. Yeah, do like they did at Canoes Cove a number of years ago. Go in and
Yeah.
get the grade right, get it to where the pilings are in the middle and not on the side, and upgrade that facility. That's one of the bigger complaints we get is that aging facility out there.
Right. Well, I remember when there wasn't a float out there or a breakwater.
Any other questions on? Okay, Mr. Bisson, tell us about the port.
Okay, on the 18th of September, the maintenance guys were moving a skiff down for a different project under the port, and they saw one of the Yokohamas hung up, and it turns out the ride piles on the end of one had got a hole in them, and the chain had pulled into that hole of the piling. There's a picture of it, actually. You can kind of see exactly what's going on. So the ride pile is not like structural support. It's just so that that chain that's in the piling can roll up and down. So the Yokohamas stay at water level. If this wasn't fixed, the Yokohama would be submerged, caught underwater, which is not good for them at all. So it hadn't been happening for long because the Yokohamas hadn't been hung up. We check them every low tide about every day during the summer. We can see them, so we know if they're hung up or not. Turns out there were 6 of the ride piles. 2 of them looked like this one, and 4 others had holes in them already, but not gaping holes where the chain and the rollers could actually slide into them. So they caught it pretty quick, probably within a day of it happening. And then we had to move one ship north, kind of onto Berk 2, so that we could use the tide, pull those chains out, and then we actually chained them to the bull rail so that they couldn't fall down that far. They're all currently in. Plan is to pull all 6 of those. Pool Engineering came down that day, started taking a look at it. They're getting a quote for what it'll cost. It won't be underwater welding, so those ride piles are connected to the top. So there's a big steel beam that goes across. Pilings are welded to the top, and they just float on the bottom. There's a little shoe that holds them in place. So we'll be able to cut out the bad ones, put a new pipe in, weld it to the top. So shouldn't be any underwater work as long as there's no other failures.
Is that structural piling behind that, so?
Yeah. So you can imagine it's probably not looking great. So this is probably stemming from not a lot of cathodic protection. I think council will probably get a look at this here pretty quickly. Probably going to be $80,000 to get these things fixed. There is a big low next week, I think about the 18th, next Friday. It's like a -3.5, but it's in the evening. So plan is go down in the dark, weather permitting, and get a look at all of berth 1 and 2 if we can on that big low, and see if there's any other ones that are close, so we can try to get this figured out. So yeah, it happened, but yeah, the 18th, so we didn't have a lot left. It only affected ships one day. So could have been worse if it happened in July or something, or if it was different piling that we would have to shut down one of the berths. Promenade, abutment and stabilization, that is 60% submittal from P&D. So we're gonna probably be able to bid that out here pretty quick. That's going to shore up that whole abutment. It's sloughed off kind of right below the Tongass and the Cruise Line Agency building on the very north end of the promenade. You can see where the Armor Rock is slid. So they're going to clean that up. They're going to put, big old concrete barriers in there, big concrete blocks, make an actual abutment, backfill it. They'll have to tear out the first section of the promenade to do all this, bring in a little mini excavator or like a walk behind one so they can do all the work. So it's not going to be super intensive with equipment, but there will be some, and it will close the promenade down for the duration of that project, at least that very north end of it. James actually came up with this one where we're going to have cathodic protection installed along the whole promenade as part of this project. So that'll happen with it. It's going to increase the cost, but it's going to come, the money will come out of that grant that was going to be for berth 3 expansion. So instead, we're going to use it up in other ways, and the promenade stabilization is going to be a big part of that one. So that'll be good. They're going to do some cross bracing on some of the beams to provide support and hopefully knock down that wobble that you can feel if you're down that way. So there'll be a few things going on with that project, and it should be complete sometime this winter. Berth 1 guard shack. We did have a public information session last Tuesday. It was attended by Dick Coos.
Yep. That was it.
That was it. And it was election night, so he was not a council member quite yet. He was there, and he had a couple questions, couple pointers. The last picture or last page is kind of a good top-down view of what it's going to look like. It doesn't really show where it's going to be, but it'll be at the end of berth 1, kind of right where the guard shack and those big wood planters are, separating berth 1 and berth 2. That's what it'll look like. The inside space is probably a lot like that. We will have a couple shelving units for storage, but mostly it'll be just an open space to store water meters and whatnot during the winter. And then in the summer, it'll be an open workspace for laying out line, doing delineators, whatever we need to do.
Where are you gonna find the 3 guys to stand outside all the time?
Oh, we got those.
Oh yeah. So we'll pay some port security to just do that. We want you to look like the picture.
Yeah, that's what.
What I need is someone sitting in the shack on their phone. Really. Then we'd be good. So that was number 3. Berth 4 anodes. This was I think $86,000 project, I think originally, and it was going on when I came in. So in 2022, not a lot happened that first year. I think this time last year we started putting anodes on above the water or above the low tide, so kind of high. These 34-pound aluminum anodes all along the sheet pile of berth 4. And just on the 24th, so like a week and a half ago, P&D came in, or not P&D, sorry, ACD came in and they welded along the bottom. So we have anodes on top, anodes on bottom. That's complete. And I think it ended up costing, it was less than half, like $25,000 or $26,000. So
Because you guys
we did everything but
yourselves
the
above the water
dive.
line was you guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the big cost was
Cool.
the anodes themselves, and the divers were like $12,000. So saved a pile doing almost all that work in house. So that's kudos to the maintenance guys. we know when these anodes went in. Now we know, what we can watch for as they start to fade away. We can do inspections. We can get a maintenance schedule for when these need to be replaced on a regular basis. So we're not in the situation we were in 2022 with no anodes on that whole sheet pile wall.
Any expected life or any life expectancy projections on stuff like this, or is it just wait and see and monitor?
Wait and see and monitor. We did get some pictures from the divers where there was a gap at the bottom of the sheet pile wall, and we don't know if that has been there since it went in, like the pile just wasn't put in, as deep as it could have been. It's not a big gap, it seems like it's not that way. The only way to tell is there's a couple sea urchins on the sheet pile wall, and they kind of look like about that much. So they kind of did a mini inspection and sent us the pictures, so we have a little bit better idea if there's any failure going on down there. Looks pretty okay, but we will get someone in there at some point to really tell us what's going on. There is no 5 here. There should be. When we wrote this up, it was not the end of the season. So number 5, end of the cruise ship season. We're done. Last ship was on Friday, or no. Last ship for us was on Thursday. It was an extra ship that day.
It was Norwegian Cruise.
Yeah, the Norwegian Jewel, I think it was, came in. They had a medical of all things, so they're supposed to be going to Sitka, but the bad weather out that side pushed them in here, and they chose to come to berth 4, and we'd already torn down berth 4, so we had about an hour and a half to get it all set back up, catch that ship. We had 2 Holland America ships on berth 1 and berth 3, so it ended up being a 3-ship day for us on that last day. A little bit of a scramble, but made it happen. Earlier in the week, we had 2 unscheduled ships on Tuesday. So also bad weather. They skipped Sitka and came here. So we had a 2-ship day on Tuesday when we were gonna have none. So instead of 2 ships last week, we had 5, an extra $60,000, $80,000. So
Nice.
covered the wages for the people sitting on their cell phones.
Any questions for Mr. Bisson?
Nope.
There's one thing I wanted to add to give you guys a heads up, because this is something Craig and I are going to be pushing, especially during this budget cycle. The city has a new safety coordinator, and he's been going around to all the department, meet and greet, checking things out. He walked into our maintenance shop and his head about exploded. So we're putting money in the budget for a new maintenance shop as soon as we can get one, hopefully next year. It's probably gonna be about $2 million. We're working out how to pay for it right now, cause it's a 50-50 deal with the harbor. Harbor doesn't have $1 million right now. But finance thinks they have a way that we can make it work. But whenever the port or the harbor spends this kind of money on something, there's always pushback because people don't realize what it's actually for. So if you know any council members or anybody in the public who wants to come see our maintenance shop, if they have any questions when this all gets out there, we'd be glad to give them a tour of what we have to work with down there.
I think Mark's already had a tour of that.
I had a tour last year and and we talked about it then, that if a safety type, OSHA type person walked in there, you'd hear about it. I mean, that's.
Well, the safety coordinator off the top of his head said he saw about $1 million in fines.
Right. So.
And fines.
That we could get.
Oh, and I want to say thank you for singling out to contact city council people because there's always pushback.
Well,
That's awesome stuff.
we're actively reaching out to city council members to try to get them to come. We're trying to get ahead of the game.
How many have toured besides me?
Just Mr. Finnegan.
Right, okay. That's it?
That's it.
I will do the same. I will reach out to a couple. That's all I can do. And give
So
my suggestion.
we're gonna try to do this. Sam.
Come
We're
down
gonna reach out,
and have a look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
try to reach out to the mayor-elect and have him come take a look as well.
Well, it would seem to me if they're making decisions on how the money's spent, they should understand the need for that expense.
You would think so, but I think all of us that have been in the repair and maintenance, whether it's vessels or aircraft or vehicles or diesels or whatever, I think understand that just a lot of folks don't give it much mind. Whatever piece of equipment you're operating, if it works, life is good and off you go. Right? But I mean, $2 million is a lot of money, but when you look at what it is in support of and what that infrastructure brings to this community,
Yeah.
then I mean, you have to do, you know, sometimes you just gotta step up and fix your stuff, right?
It's what some consider the lifeblood of the community, right?
I agree. It's just, you know, we go through this every year in many different arenas. And these are not popular, sexy, fun, you know, broken stuff or maintenance. It's just not a very popular topic, I guess, you know, in general, but it's absolutely essential. And the design is done, right?
We have we have about a 30% design. So that gave us a cost estimate and everything.
How long will it take to get to the 60% where you can?
Probably pretty quick. We could probably move forward with that now. The initial design came in way cheaper than we thought, so I have money left over. So I could probably initiate the next phase. And this isn't going to be just a maintenance shop as well. The main thing is a maintenance shop, but the plan lays out 2 additional shower stalls for harbor users. They're not gonna have a bathroom in them, just shower stalls, unisex shower stalls. Because that's one of the biggest complaints in the summertime. You know, when you have the same fleet and you'll have 5 or 6 crew guys lined up waiting to use the showers.
Well, that's off one boat potentially.
Yeah. So 2 extra showers that are unisex would help out tremendously. So it being a bigger maintenance shop will help, but it also help, you know, in the respects of harbor users as well, just not in making it easier for the maintenance guys to do their jobs. In the shop will be designed with a big bay door to where we can put our vehicles inside to work on them. We'll be able to put our boats inside to work on them, which will save us a ton of money. Just being able to do a lot of maintenance on our own and be able to do it properly where you're not, well, weather looks good, I can maybe try to get the boat painted today. Everybody here knows how much easier it is to work on a boat when it's inside. And that would be very helpful.
Okay, any comments or questions regarding the maintenance facility? All right, seeing none. Future agenda items. Anybody have anything that they would like to see on the next or a future meeting discussed? Clearly? I don't see anything, but if you, and by the way, between meetings, if somebody comes up with something, you can always contact.
Just to be up for discussion next meeting.
If somebody wants it on this, absolutely.
We have it. We'll have time to look at it.
Okay. All right, so we have one future agenda item to review the study that the city just received in regards to the cruise passenger costs to the city of Ketchikan. We'll go over that at the next meeting. Anything else for future agenda items?
Is there currently a plan in the works? So like the structural stuff of berth 1 and 2 are looking like that.
Right. I met with the manager last week on a different topic. The analysis has been done. The cost estimate is pending. I don't have an exact date. I don't believe it's going to be too far in the future. These gentlemen might know more, but I know the analysis of the waterfront was already done, including under Tongass, right? And I know that's a public works thing, but that got thrown into that.
It is,
It's
yes.
not?
So we are gonna do an actual dive survey on it. We've been talking to P&D on that one to get the underwater stuff done on those pilings.
Oh, that wasn't part of the.
The last one was 2016. So that was that study.
I think
Oh,
you're
we just-
thinking of the bathymetric.
Yeah, the bathymetric.
I think that's what you're thinking
Oh,
of.
yeah, that's right. That's
So,
right. It was just-
yes, there
right,
is.
okay.
We've talked with P&D a couple times now.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be doing an actual underwater survey. Some of these piles have wraps on them, Some of them are good, some of them are sliding, some of them failed. The wraps themselves, not the pilings. So they're gonna go in with a dive crew, get all of berth 3, 2, and 1. Find out exactly what we need, get us a cost. We've already got it kind of ballparked about $20 million for that. It does include, we realized, Tongass parking lot, which is a public works asset, Front Street Extension, and Mill Street, or not Mill Street, Spruce Mill Way, which is also public works. So that's all kind of wrapped up into that. So don't know how we're gonna split that up, but it will be about 20 million for those parking lots, streets, and the port. So that'll be, we allocated 10 million this year. I think we're gonna shoot for 8 million this coming 2025. That's what the budget's gonna look like. And I took about 2 million and moved it into 2026. Hopefully we can come in at about 18 to get it done. If not, we'll figure out that other.
Wait, is this a survey or the?
This will be the fix.
The fix.
So that hopefully by 2026, we're fixing it.
When it comes to the actual dive survey though, how much, and is that already in this year's budget? I can't remember.
That
Or you're
we're
gonna be
gonna-
coming to the council for that?
We're gonna come to the council for that. That's
Okay.
gonna probably be funds out of that grant, because we have about 2.5 million.
The money that didn't go into birth rate?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay,
So we'll use those funds to do the dive stuff.
Which we're gonna try to get
Perfect.
done this winter.
Yes, so hopefully this winter that's done.
Great.
That'll tell us exactly what we need to do, where we can start putting this $20 million.
Perfect. So you've got the money and it just hasn't been allocated yet.
Right.
Okay, perfect.
I was just wondering if we needed to make some noise or anything like
This,
that.
this needed to be done back in like
Oh,
2016.
This has been going on almost,
Yeah.
I got on the council in 2000.
Yeah, and
This has been going on forever, so.
But it's just.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem.
All right, any other future agenda items? Okay, board member comments, Mr. Lundy.
Well, congratulations on successful season.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Now I get to sleep.
Yeah.
Mr. Bethel.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks, guys.
I thought there were no boats coming until the end of October.
Ward Cove has till the 26th of October. So we're still, if we get anything, just so you guys know, anything does transfer, shift from Ward Cove to downtown, it will be berth 3.
Okay.
I talked to the ferries. They want to bring a boat in. They'll move it in after 26th. Or keep berth 3 free until then.
Mr. Elwood, any comments? Okay. Mr. Wilson?
No comments. Thanks for all the info.
Ditto, thank you.
All right, well, my comments, I'm just gonna briefly address this. So some months ago, I brought forward to the city council an agenda item requesting an analysis of cruise ship related expenses to every city department, not just the port, but how does cruise ship visitation impact the general fund across all departments? The council supported it. Initially, there had been some talk that it was going to be an internal study. It was not. It ended up being a study done by the McKinley Group. These are the results. This just came out today or yesterday, just recently. If it would have come out in time, I would have noticed these guys and it would have been on the agenda. It's not, unfortunately, so we can't discuss it tonight. We'll discuss it in the future. I wanted this board to have this in hand though, so that you guys can go through this, read it, contact staff, the manager, city council people, whoever you have with questions, and let people know what you think, because on the 17th, a week from Thursday, the city council is going to discuss this. Unfortunately, the timing was thus that I couldn't get this on the agenda in advance of that meeting. But I wanted to make sure that you guys had this as soon as possible, because I know in the past, several years ago, there have been times when this board, as an advisory board, has felt left a little curbside on some things, and I think that's a valid concern. It's difficult to be on an advisory board and put in the time and the effort, and in the end, but you don't get a vote. So it's kind of I'm not being flippant, but it's kind of a mixed bag as far as participation goes. But we're gonna look at this on the 17th, and we'll see where it goes from there. So, and of course, thank you to you guys and to May. Yes,
Yeah, when I requested that to be brought up as a future agenda item, I was not aware that it will already have been discussed at the city council.
Yeah.
do you want to cancel it, or do you want to leave it on there for now? You can always just,
Yeah, we can leave it on there.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
we'll see what direction this goes, right? All I know, and I've had a chance to, so I've had a chance to go through it once, but I'll go through it
and if we
many,
are,
many more times.
if we're not able to attend or watch the council meeting, you can give us a summary of.
Absolutely, absolutely. But if you have the chance to attend, please do. If you cannot make it, but you have the opportunity to send in an email, or like I said, phone council people, or we live in a town with 18% voter turnout, and that's hard. It's hard to navigate when most people aren't involved. You guys are willing to give up your time and your evenings every now and again to address local matters, obviously for the ports and the harbors. So if this resonates with any of you guys and are things that you want people to know how you think, please get a hold of all of us, any of us, and let us know what you think. So, all right. And with that, we need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you, guys.
Purposely kept quiet because I know I'm always against the motion.